guys, welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today, this is part 2 of that ridiculously long 2-year book haul. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. The last one ran a little long. I didn't realize the first 5 minutes is set up, so it's probably not as long as I said it was, but it's still 30 minutes. And if I could have gotten this done in 10 minutes, we'd been alright, but it's probably going to be another 30 minutes, because it's too many books. Again, I just got to get through it. If you don't like book hauls, that's cool. But if you watch the first one, you saw there's a bunch of books on there, you don't know what they are. So at least, I'm hauling different kind of books. Again, if you've seen this on the haul, you don't remember, because I don't remember. So there might be a couple here I may have hauled before, but I don't think so. Starting with, not wasting more time.
Let's get down to business.
Let's go ahead and start with Bouch Cloud of Sparrows. I almost said Cloud of Sorrows. It's Cloud of Sparrows by Takashi Matsuoka. And it is the first book in, this is a series. This is Japan. What's the series dang called? Oh, I don't bloody know. Anyway, I'm fairly certain it's a series. Anyway, this is Japanese historical fiction, and I got a few of these books like Musashi, etc. after I read Shogun, and wanted more Japanese historical fiction. And I don't know, I have never heard this talked about, so we'll see if it's any good. Enter a world of samurai and geishas, ninjas, and Zen masters. A world of violence and beauty that will take you on an extraordinary journey through 19th century Japan. Enter the world of Cloud of Sparrows. Well, I know it's 19th century Japan, because that means it's Meiji era nonsense. The year is 1861. Ugh. Meiji Restoration. After 2 centuries of isolation, Japan has opened its doors to the West. It's literally Meiji Restoration. And as foreign ships threaten to rain destruction on the shogun's castle in Edo, a small group of American missionaries has arrived to spread the word of their god. They have yet to realize their future in Japan has already been foreseen. For a young nobleman has dreamt that his life will be saved by an outsider in the new year, and it is said that Lord Genji has the gift of prophecy. What happens next when the handsome lord meets an apparently reformed gunslinger and a woman in flight from her own destructive beauty sets the stage for a remarkable adventure. For as this unlikely band embarks upon a journey through a landscape bristling with danger, east and west, flesh and spirit, past and future, collide in ways no one, least of all Genji, could have imagined. That doesn't tell me anything what this is about. I don't even know if... I have no idea. Have y'all read this? If you've read this, let me know if this is good. I don't know what a woman in flight from her own destructive beauty means, but who knows. So yeah, Cloud of Sparrows. Next, this was sent to me by Anitha. And again, remember, I don't remember who sent me all these. A lot of them were sent to me by viewers, subscribers, patrons. I don't remember all of them, but I do remember some of them. Otherwise, just blanket thank you so much for sending me anything. I really appreciate it. Next is Wolf Hall, Bouch, by Hilary Mantel. This was sent to me by Anitha. This is book 1 of it's Thomas Cromwell trilogy about England in the 1520s. And it's about Henry VIII and Thomas Cromwell, not to be confused with Oliver Cromwell, which I was very confused to start with. I don't know enough about English history. I should know more. But this won the Booker Prize, and the second one won the Booker Prize, and the third one was longlisted for the Booker Prize, or shortlisted for the Booker Prize, but did not win. I have heard this is very good. Many people think this is good. I know Jared Henderson thinks this is good, and thinks that Jimmy is a savage for not liking it. So, I don't know. I've heard it's hard to... The biggest complaint I've heard about this is that it is hard to tell who is speaking. She does not give... Except I'm looking at this. It looks like there are dialogue tags. I don't know what the problem is. Anyway, so yeah. I don't know if this is good or not, but I definitely want to read this at some point, because I have heard really, really excellent things. And I like historical fiction, and this is a period that... doesn't disgust me, and I don't know enough about, so it would be awesome. I know Anitha tried to send me this book once, and instead they sent me a book about, Japanese submarines during World War II, which is not what she ordered. So, Wolf Hall. Next, we have Bouch, The Iron King, by Maurice Druon, and at the top it says George R. R. Martin in big letters. This is the original Game of Thrones. So this is the first book in the Accursed Kings series. It's not a trilogy. It's a bunch of them. I got this because Jimmy had mentioned that he was going to read it, and I thought that maybe, I'll read it with him, and then neither one of us read it. So Yeah, I don't know what this is about or if it's good. But accursed, accursed! You shall be accursed to the 13th generation. The Iron King, Philip the Fair, is cold and silent, as handsome as and unblinking as a statue. He governs his realm with an iron hand, but he cannot rule his own family. His sons are weak and their wives adulterous, while his red-blooded daughter Isabella is unhappily married to an English king who prefers the company of men. Ooh, a web of scandal, murder, and intrigue is weaving itself around the Iron King, but his downfall will come from an unexpected quarter. Bent on the persecution of the rich and powerful Templar knights, or Knights Templar, Philip sentences Grand Master Jacques de Molay to be burned at the stake, thus drawing down upon himself a curse that will destroy his entire dynasty. That actually sounds low-key interesting. That sounds cool. Have y'all read this? It's not super long. It's like 300 pages. And so the quality of this book, like the physical build quality of this book, and like how many words are on each page, this feels like a young person's book. Like there are a lot of like middle school books that feel this exact same way. Like this feels like my Percy Jackson book, The Lightning Thief, like in build quality and in like words on the page and stuff. This does not seem like it is. Blood-curdling tale of intrigue, murder, corruption, and sexual passion. I'm fairly certain this isn't middle grade reading, but it feels like a middle grade book in build quality. Anyway, have y'all read this? Is it good? Next, so this book is also this is from Evie. What are those freaking Booker Prize winners? Guys, if something won a prize, I probably am not going to like it, because I tend to like popular stuff. All right, anyway, Bouch, Sea of Poppies by Amitav Ghosh. That's probably wrong. And this is book one in the Ibis trilogy. This is Indian historical fiction, which is awesome because I have read approximately none of that is not from the British perspective. At the heart of this vibrant saga is a vast ship, the Ibis. Her destiny is a tumultuous voyage across the Indian Ocean shortly before the outbreak of the Opium Wars in China. Awesome. In a time of colonial upheaval, fate has thrown together a diverse cast of Indians and Westerners on board, from a bankrupt Raja to a widowed tribeswoman, from a mulatto American freedman to a free-spirited French orphan. I should push him overboard. As their old family ties are washed away, they, like their historical counterparts, come to view themselves as Jahaj Bais, or shipbrothers. The vast sweep of this historical adventure spans the lush poppy fields of the Ganges, the rolling high seas, the exotic backstreets of Canton. With a panoramic view of characters whose diaspora encapsulates the vexed colonial histories of the East itself, Sea of Poppies is a storm-tossed adventure worthy of Sir Walter Scott, according to Vogue. That sounds cool. So yeah, we were going to read this as a buddy read, I guess. Maybe Anitha will put it on a suggestion for buddy reads next year. I don't know. Have you read Sea of Poppies? Is this trilogy good? Opium War historical fiction. There should be more of it. Next, we have Bouch, The Wager by David Gran. So this is nonfiction, theoretically. This is a tale of shipwreck, mutiny, and murder. This is about, like, there was, like, a mutiny, and, yeah, and they, like, this, like, ramshackle vessel rolls up, and they tell, like, a story about mutiny, about how they had to mutiny, and then it turns out that, like, the people that they mutinied, like, also show up. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a conflicting story about what happened on this journey in 1742 on the ship The Wager. I know that some people have read this. Is this good? Is this any good? I got this on a lark. I was at Nationals, and they had a bookstore. They had a Barnes & Noble, like, on the campus of whatever campus we were on. Was that Emory? Might have been Emory. Anyway, and I was like, well, I'm at a Barnes & Noble. I really don't like to go in Barnes & Noble without coming away with something, so I bought this. Is it any good? That's what this should be called. It's not a book haul. It's, are these books any good? Or should I throw them away? Next, we have, so this was, I think, sent to me by Evie, but it was suggested by Mitch. And Mitch says this book, right? It's you, Mitch, right? That said this book is really, really obtuse to get through. And I agree, because on the back, George Steiner says that the death of Virgil represents the only genuine technical advance that fiction has made since Ulysses.
Boo!
This is The Death of Virgil by Helman Broch. I don't know what this is about. Like, it's literally about the last hours of Virgil's life and the final stirrings of his consciousness. It's a work of 20th century modernism, a book that embraces the world and renders it with an immediacy that is at once sensuous and profound. What? Ugh. 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 This might be a difficult book to get through, y'all. But it is about Virgil, which is cool. Have y'all read this? And would I hate it? Like, would I hate this book? Let me know. Okay, next. Fairly certain these are sent to me by Evie. Anyway, so this is Bouch, Lro in the Mist, and Bouch, Soldier of Sidon. These are related. They're both by Gene Wolfe, and it is a series. I don't know. It's a Latro series. Maybe that's what it's called. The Latro series. This is theoretically about. This is about like a Roman soldier. A Roman mercenary, while fighting in Greece, receives a head injury that deprives him of short-term memory. It gave him, in return, the ability to see and converse with supernatural creatures and gods and goddesses who invisibly inhabit the ancient landscape, which is actually awesome. But Latro forgets everything when he sleeps, so it's memento. Writing down his experiences every day and reading his journal anew gives him a poignantly tenuous hold on himself. So, yeah. It's possible Sidon has nothing to do with it. Nope. Latro's here in Sidon, which is over near Egypt, or I guess in the Phoenicia area. And then this takes place in, I guess, Greece. But it's, Roman and Greek, which is awesome. I have not read this. I have been told that I would hate Book of the New Sun. Have any of y'all read this? Would I like this? Is this better? Is this less obtuse than Book of the New Sun? Yes or no? Next, we have Bouch Dissolution by C.J. Sansom. This is what is this? What book is this? What series is this? I knew it before I held it up, and then I promptly forgot. Shard Lake. These are like mystery books. Is that what they are? Are they mystery books, like set in 1500s England, set in the the Wolf Hall era? Because I think that's what these are. He's the sharpest hunchback in the courts of England. It's a lawyer. He's a lawyer, Esquire. That's fun. Are these good? Are these Shard Lake books good? It is quite short. And more historical fiction, and I'm always looking for good historical fiction, unless it's of a period I just don't give a crap about. So, well, I like the page, I like the quality of these pages. I like this one. What do you think? Dissolution. All right, next we have Bouch Ransom by David Malouf. This is the story of a relationship between two grieving men at war. Fierce Achilles, who has lost his beloved Patroclus in the siege of Troy, oh my gosh, and woeful Priam, whose son Hector killed Patroclus and was in turn savaged by Achilles. A moving tale of suffering, sorrow, and redemption. Ransom is incandescent in its delicate and powerful lyricism and unstated imperative that we imagine our lives in the glow of fellow feeling. So this is quite short also, and oh my gosh, there are not many words on the page. Like, I could tear through this if I wanted to read it, unless it's, like, terrible. Anybody read Ransom? This is obviously Iliad adjacent, which is why it was suggested to me and I acquired it. Some of these books, like, I forget that I have, and they're also really short. And, just to be different, I want to pop these on the TBR and read them sometime. What do y'all think? What do y'all think of Ransom? This is definitely for me, Evie. This is Bouch, I Am Rome by Santiago Posteguillo. Which is a novel of Julius Caesar. I have no idea what this is. It's clearly historical fiction. It's clearly based on Julius Caesar. The corrupt senator Dolabella is about to go on crime for his trials, which Caesar lost this trial. It's Caesar as orator, Caesar as lawyer, which you don't see much of in historical fiction about Caesar, at least that I've seen. Animates the moments that shaped this extraordinary young man's fate and changed the course of history. So I guess it's a younger Caesar. Have y'all read this? I Am Rome? Have y'all read this? This might be cool. I do like that it takes place, at least ostensibly, the premise is that it takes place in the law courts, which would be awesome, because I really liked, I like legal thrillers just in general, but Cicero, especially the first one that takes place largely in the law courts, I really, really loved. So have y'all read I Am Rome? Man, I forget I have some of these books. I'm glad I'm doing this. Next, we have Bouch, Aztec by Gary Jennings. This is one I don't know if I hauled it before or not. It's possible I did. And I'm not kidding you. When I picked it up, I literally, in my head, thought, Bouch, this is Mayan historical fiction. Do you know how I know it's not Mayan historical fiction? Because it's called Aztec. So it's actually Aztec historical fiction. The way this is described is it's Shogun for the Aztecs. And that's really, I think, all you need to know on whether or not you would like it or not. I mean, it may be worse than Shogun. I don't like how big it is. Like, it's this big and it's this big. And I don't like these huge books. Look, I'm not Shaq. Like, Shaq can make this look like a mass market, but just don't, ugh. Anyway, have y'all read Aztec? Is it any good? Is it indeed the Aztec Shogun? Next, so these next two, History of Reading by Alberto Mangel. What a nerd book! Right, Mangel, is that right? And then Musonius Rufus, That One Should Disdain Hardships, The Teaching of a Roman Stoic. Blech. What a nerd book! Both of these were recommended to me by Jared Henderson when I was on a stream with him. Some of the things he said about History of Reading sound actually really interesting, but when this book came to me and my wife saw it, she said, that book seems like the most boring book you could possibly read. And I'm like, it's possible. But I do like, there are some, I'm not sure I can read all of this, but I'm going to read some of this. I bet I can find something that's interesting in here, because I do like random, bits of fact that may or may not be interesting to other people. And then Musonius Rufus, Jared said this is his favorite Stoic philosopher. So I got this. It is quite short. I do not like the Stoics, and I don't like philosophy in general. But there is nothing wrong with being able to read a bit of this at a time. Certainly, if anyone wants to buddy read this, that would make it slightly more tolerable. Next, and this is key, y'all. I, on my YouTube shorts, keep popping up scenes from Game of Thrones, the TV show, which I watched the first 2 seasons of and then just didn't watch anymore. But I've read all the books. And I just forget how good A Song of Ice and Fire is. If you are now going to the comments to be like, A Song of Ice and Fire, actually isn't that good, please understand that nobody cares about your opinion in that matter. Like, nobody. Like, you are alone. Go find a clubhouse. Like, go find a clubhouse with the other, 12 exiles from society. And you know what? Y'all can just hang in there and you can play hearts or something, because it's good. So, it's just good. And I love it. And I forget, because I haven't read it since, 2012? When Dance with Dragons came out? It's the last time I read any of those. And I want to read them again. And I realized I did not have them. I used to have the hardcover of Feast for Crows and Dance with Dragons, because I bought them when the day they came out, and I read them, and then I never picked them up again. But I also had the silver, gold, and blue paperbacks of the first 3 books. And then I let the girl I was dating at the time borrow them, and then she broke up with me and kept my books. So I don't know where I legit have no idea where my hardcovers went. But I don't have my paperbacks either. So anyway, I bought this. I got this. All 5 of the books in paperback, and mass market paperback, and not even the fat the skinny mass market paperbacks that suck, because I would never read those in this. So these are normal size mass market paperback. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. I despise the fact that the box has stupid show photos. Like, I hate that. But I do like the books are not like that, so that's cool. So I got these, and I am hoping to start a reread of these books next year. It will be slow going, but I would like to, because they're just so good. All right, guys, we're down to the last stack. We're down to the final stack. Bouch! Persian Fire by Tom Holland. Not Spider-Man. Not Spider-Man, like historian Tom Holland. What a nerd book! So, Tom Holland is one of these historians that I have not read anything by. He's written Rubicon, something about a dynasty. It's called Dynasty. Persian Fire. And he comes highly recommended to me, but I just haven't read anything by him yet. But this is called Persian Fire. This is about the Greco-Persian Wars, which is awesome. And I am eager to read this and see, I always like reading new historians from a period that I know a lot about, to add things to my slides and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm actually really excited to read this by Tom Holland. Speaking of Persia, we have, again, that was a nerd book. We have another nerd book, Bouch, Roman Persia. What a nerd book! The 700-Year Rivalry by Adrian Goldsworthy. So this is not the Greco-Persian Wars. This is the Roman-Persian Wars, which largely encompasses the Parthians, which the Romans could not, for the life of them, bring down the friggin' Parthians, at least permanently. They often just had to, organize a peace. Augustus had to send Tiberius on a diplomatic mission to get the eagles back that Crassus had lost in 52, 53 at Carrhae. And that I know less about. I know significantly less about that period, the Romans fighting the Parthians, than I do about the Greeks fighting the Persians. So I'm excited to read this as well, and I love Adrian Goldsworthy. So Roman, Persia, and of course, like every Adrian Goldsworthy book, it's long. Oh, now this is the nerdiest of the nerd book. I had to special order this frickin' book because they don't print it anymore, because why would you? This is Bouch, The Rise of the Seleucid Empire from 323 to 223 BC by John D. Granger. This is the first of 3 books about the Seleucid dynasty. What a nerd book! And this is The Rise of Salucas. I guess, it's the first 100 years of the Seleucid dynasty, but it's certainly about the rise of Seleucus. What I don't like about Granger, I've not read anything by Granger yet, but what I don't like about Granger is that he uses the Greek K's in all the names, so it's, Antipatros, and then it's Perdiccas, K-K-I-A-S, and Craterus with a big K, and all that stuff. So, I don't love that, but I do, I just finished the section on the Diadochi and my classes, and Seleucus just isn't super important at the beginning of that, and I don't know a ton about what happens post, with Seleucus. It's just not my area of expertise, so I'm eager to learn more about the Seleucids and, Antiochus III, who's the great. Next we have A Fatal Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum, Murder in Ancient Rome by Emma Southan. Evie sent me this, and it is about murder in ancient Rome, and from eyewitnesses' accounts about normal murder, not I don't know. I actually don't know what it's about, but it's about how the Romans treated murder and killing in the Republic and the Empire, which just sounds awesome. So I should read this. A lot of these nonfiction. Hey guys, if you ever want to buddy read some nonfiction, let me know, because it's just hard for me to pick up nonfiction. I read it very slow because I always highlight. But yeah, also cool. All right, this was sent to me by Laura, so thank you. Bouch, Emperor of Rome by Mary Beard. This is about the emperors of Rome. Mary Beard is great. She really has a way of, I don't know, it's just really readable history about ancient Rome. Her SPQR is your go-to for, a general survey of Rome. And so yeah, this is about the emperors. It covers from Caesar through Alexander Severus in 235 AD. I'm not going to use CE and BCE, guys. I'm just not. This is just dumb. I get that was the purpose of that is we want to remove the religious connotations. Who do you know that when you say it's to 2025 AD, it means a religious context? Who do you know? Who do you know that is it is the year of our Lord 2025? Come on, literally nobody does that, and you don't know anybody who does. Even people who are super religious, 90% of them don't know it has anything to do within the year of our Lord. They'll say before Christ and after death. That's not even right. So I'm not going to say Common Era and before Common Era. It's dumb. It's a problem, or sorry, a solution in search of a problem.
Well, excuse me, princess.
So anyway, but yeah. So other than that, I do want to read this because I do like Mary Beard. This is Bouch, Fall of the Giants by Gregory Kontaxis. This is book 2 of, what is this series called? What is this series called? The Light? It's something about light. Dance of Light. Gregory Kontaxis is a patron of mine, and these are published, these are translated from Greek. He published these originally in Greek, and then they're translated into English, and he always sends me one when there's a new one, when he releases a new one, which is awesome, because these covers are banging, guys, banging. In fact, dang it, in my other box, the third one is there. It's the Fall of the West, I think it's called, and that's the most recent one, and that was sent to me, and I just forgot to bring it in here. It's in the box in the other room. That I brought home from my classroom. But I want to get around to these. Have any of y'all read Contax's works? I have heard decent things. The first one's called The Return of the Knights. So yeah, let me know if you've read these. I can't read the back, 'cause that's the second one. So this is probably, I don't know why I have this. This is Who's Who in the Age of Alexander and the Successors. This is literally like an encyclopedia.
I can't believe it's not bothered.
So look, it's got like entries for like names and stuff. So if Craterus is mentioned, you can look it up. Cratesipolis is someone's wife. The Lenikes, the Leonidases, there are several. You can look up all the Leonidases, the Leonidases, and it gives you all the sources that you could ever want to. This is good for historians, I'm assuming, because it tells you all the sources that mention these guys. Very, very thorough. Not something you would really read, but I have used it a couple times when I want to know more about like a specific person. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know why you would ever need this, but I think it's cool. Oh my gosh, guys, I have so many nerd books. I'm so sorry. Here we have Bouch, The Tyrants of Sicily 1. What a nerd book! War in Ancient Sicily, 480 to 367 BC by Jeff Champion. So this is about the Tyrants of Sicily from 487 to 480 to 367 BC. This is not really the one I wanted because I basically know about these tyrants. I really needed the second one, which are the tyrants that follow Dionysius I. But that's okay. I'll get that one eventually. But yeah, this exists, guys. Like, pen and sword military history has so many books that appeal to me, and I just don't know what my problem is, but I just think this is interesting, so. Then we have Bouch, Hannibal by Philip Freeman. So Philip Freeman, if you want a swift, brief narrative that reads like a best-selling novel of Julius Caesar or Alexander the Great, or now I'm going to assume Hannibal. Read Philip Freeman. Philip Freeman is a historian, and his books are just really thrilling to read. His Julius Caesar was the first bio of Julius Caesar I read, and it's largely what I make my Julius Caesar slides from. But his Alexander the Great one is also great. And then Hannibal. I've not read this, but it is quite short. It is, less than 200 pages. But I'm excited to read this. Like, I'm really in a Greek history kind of mode, and that's just, I know more about Greek history, and I just am like expanding at the edges. I actually, despite being a Latin teacher, know less Roman history than I do Greek history, and that's because I don't teach a class on Roman history. I teach a class on Greek history. I teach Latin with some Roman history interspersed. So I actually really want to bone up more on Roman history, and when I do, I may, begin here with Hannibal here. Next, we've got Bouch, Bitter Seeds by Ian Tregillis. This is book one of the Milkweed triptych, and this is, so he wrote The Alchemy Wars, which is Protestant versus Catholic, Protestant Netherlands versus Catholic France, and then there are, robots that fight in it. This is also like historical fantasy, but this is set in World War II. The Nazis have Superman and the British have demons, and that just sounds awesome. And I don't love World War II historical fiction, but Tregillis proved to me in the Alchemy Wars that he could write really good historical fiction. And so I trust the author enough to read this. And apparently, all right, well, that was rude. My freaking camera battery died right in the middle of saying, yeah, this is World War II. The next one is not World War II. It's later. And then I think the third one's like the Cold War or whatever. Anyway, camera, bitter seeds. All right, next we have, and I know Anitha sent this to me, Bouch, Whistleful Ascending by J.C.M. Byrne, book one of the Hybrid Helix. I don't know what this is about, but Anitha loves it. This is Anitha's favorite book, even over LPQ. So you take that for what it's worth. But I don't know what this is about. The Ildrak have conquered half a galaxy behind the civilization-ending powers of their mixed-species children. Half-human Rohan, exhausted by a decade of fighting for their empire, has paid a secret and terrible price for his freedom. Now retired, he strives to live a quiet life, towing starships for the space station Wistful. His most pressing problems are finding the perfect cup of coffee and talking to a gorgeous shuttle tech without tripping over his own tongue. A nearby long-dormant wormhole is opened by a ship full of scared, angry refugees, and the many eyes of the Empire focus uncomfortably on Wistful. Learn to read, Alan. As scientists, spies, and assassins converge, reverting to the monster the Empire created is the surest way to protect his friends, and the surest way to lose them. So this is sci-fi. I don't read a ton of sci-fi, but Anitha loves it. Loves it. So one day, I guarantee you, I'll have to read this because it'll be on the Patreon wheel. We're almost done, guys. We're in the last gasp. Okay, so this is, oh goodness, this is Navala by Paolo Bacigalupi. Bacigalupi, I think. I don't know what this is, but it's a standalone, and I've heard it's really good. A lot of people really like this. In the bustling city-state of Navala, business is power, and power is everything. For generations, the De Reguli family has nurtured their merchant banking empire. Merchant banking empire? Are these the Medici? Though they claim not to be political, their staggering wealth buys cities, topples kingdoms, and no one obstructs them twice. Oh, I love that. Soon, Davico De Reguli, sole heir to the De Reguli fortune, must take his place beside his father and prove himself worthy of his name. But Davico's heart is soft where it should be hard. He prefers sunlit hills and green-dappled forests to the shadowy plots of his family. Nerd! And something else beckons him. A fossil dragon eye, an ancient relic of raw power that sits upon his father's desk. A thing that should be dead, yet calls to Davico with increasing hunger. As plots unfold, armies march and assassins slip down shadowy marble halls. Davico will be tested past his limits. His survival will depend upon the powers locked within the dragon eye and upon feelings hidden deep in the heart of his beloved adopted sister, Celia. A girl wise in the twisted ways of Navalese politics, for her own family was destroyed by them. Nice. That sounds cool. Have y'all read this? Y'all read this? It sounds cool. Almost. So, this is Unruly by David Mitchell, The Ridiculous History of England's Kings and Queens. Not David Mitchell that Jimmy reads, so he didn't write Cloud Atlas, but David Mitchell of like, Are We the Baddies? That guy from that show. And I don't know what to think of this. This was recommended to me when I had patrons suggest me some nonfiction books that they read and liked, but Simon read this and despised it. He DNF'd it, despised it. So I don't know. Things that are supposed to be funny are sometimes hit and miss with me. What do y'all think? What do you think of Unruly? Is it good? Is it good or not? Funny or not? Okay, Bouch, Tiberius by Robin Seeger. This is a biography about Tiberius, the second emperor of Rome. I'm certain, is this one of the ones that wants to challenge challenging the common ancient view of Tiberius as a hypocrite? They always want to. Everyone wants to challenge Suetonius. Everyone wants to challenge the Romans and say, you know what, your history is being unkind to them. I don't care. Tiberius is a grouch and he just sucks. Tiberius sucks. This was sent to me by Evie, and I never heard of this. And it's a little wee hardback. This is Blood of the Old Kings by Sung Il Kim, translated by Anton Hur. I have no idea what this is about. In an empire run on necromancy, dead sorcerers are the lifeblood. Their corpses are wrapped in chains and drained of magic to feed the unquenchable hunger for imperial conquest. Born with magic, Ariane has become resigned to her dark fate, but when the voice of a long-dead sorcerer begins to speak inside her head, she listens. There may be another future for her if she's willing to fight for it. Miles away, beneath a volcano, a seven-eyed dragon also wears the Empire's chains. Before the imperial fists closed around their lands, it was the people's sacred guardian. Lauren, a widowed swordswoman, is the first to kneel before the dragon in decades. She comes with a desperate plea and will leave with a sword of Dragonfang in hand and a great purpose before her. In the heart of the imperial capital, Cain is known as a man who gets things done. When his best friend and mentor is found murdered, he will leave no stone unturned to find those responsible, even if it means starting a war. Fun. Has anybody read this? Have y'all read this? Is this good? It was written in 2016, but it was translated into English in 2024, so it's relatively new in English. Nice. So, A Knight of Seven Kingdoms by George R. R. Martin. This is Dunk and Egg. which is, Game of Thrones adjacent. I have not read any of them, but I hear that it is tremendous. So, do I reread Song of Ice and Fire before reading this? Because I'm going to reread Song of Ice and Fire and then read Fire and Blood. Where should I read this in that journey? And then finally, Hellenistic naval warfare and warships, 336 to 30 BC, war at sea from Alexander to Actium.
What a nerd book!
Guys, who cares? I mean, I do. Eric Yang got me this for Christmas, I think, or my birthday, which is awesome. Thank you, Eric. This is about Hellenistic naval warfare, which is fascinating to me and to approximately no one else, except Michael Patasi, who wrote it. But I love it. Like, it's just about frickin' ships. I love ships. Ships are like my autistic version of the trains. I like trains too, but there's not enough trains in history that I teach. Yeah. So anyway, guys, a whole bunch of nerd books on there. Thank you, Genius Allen. Did you see anything that you've read? I know you saw a bunch of stuff you never heard before. But if you have, let me know if it's good and what I should move up the TBR. Just please let me know. So guys, that is it for me for today. Thank you so much. And now I won't have to do any of these book hauls in like ages. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. As always, information on my Patreon and Discord is down in the description. And I'll see you next time, guys.